go.
Good evening. K6VBG 971.
Yeah, good evening, Dave. K6VBG 971. You're first on the list tonight. You're right on it. Because it's nice and cool in your shack, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. And today was quite nice.
How are you feeling these days?
Not a real big change. I'm kind of waiting for the change to happen here pretty soon. Hopefully. As I lose weight, things should change slowly, I would imagine.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was on the agenda there. So, what kind of a diet are you on?
Carnivore diet. I've lost 35 pounds so far.
How many pounds? 25?
35.
Oh, very good. So you're down to 310, huh?
I wish.
What's your goal? About you're a big man. You could easily run at 200 to 220, right?
My goal would be 250. Would be pretty good. That would definitely do it. I mean, probably 220, 230. Yeah, that'd be great if that could happen, but I don't know if that could happen. That's about where I was at when I got hurt, and I was running 5 miles 3 times a week on the beach. So yeah, I'd love to be back there again.
Yeah, okay. Well, just keep nibbling away at it. The only problem is you're coming into the eating season. You know, you got Thanksgiving and then Christmas. So maybe you can edge around those and make sure that there's meat on the table. Bacon, I think, is one of the luxuries you get to eat in that carnivore diet. They let you eat quite a bit of bacon, and so that'll take the edge off of it.
Well, you can have all the meat and eggs you want. You eat straight meat and eggs.
Okay. Let's see. I wonder who else we have in here. We should have here. I'm pointed down toward Ben, and it's getting awful close to net time, but we are a little bit early here. I guess my clock was a little fast, but better be here on time than not. So 1 or 2 evenings of the week, we usually get in here a little late or right on time. So tonight we're here with a little room to spare. It's quite pleasant in the shack. I guess it's probably about 78 or 80 in here. But Judy's sitting here getting her paperwork ready, and I'm sitting here sneezing. Anyway, everything sounds like we're going to be able to get through the net in good shape. K6BBG up at Course Gold, K6MYC Bozo Net, listening for any check-ins pointing south.
WKM6SRR, number 432, over.
Okay, good evening to you, Rob, 432. We hear you fine, and good evening to you, Dane. Tell Judy your number, Dane. She may or may not remember it. WB6JMP, K6MYC.
Actually, Mike, I think you're the one that forgot it. It's 107, but you're using Judy as an excuse. Good evening, Judy.
Yeah,
Good evening, Dane.
There you are. So how you doing? We missed you 1 or 2 days a week. I guess you were out walking a dog. I talked to Dan one night, and he said, well, he'd seen you, but I don't think you made it into the net that night for whatever reason, or maybe you came in late or something. Anyway, no worries. Good to hear you tonight. You're very strong tonight.
Yeah, well, we're aimed down in your direction, so, things should work out.
Okay, so is this a different antenna, or you've been running the EIG on this band for quite a while, right?
Yeah, no, this is the same one I've been running. It's I forget exactly the model. It was the, I think, 9-element sideband antenna you guys make.
Yeah, 2M9 SSB or whatever. Okay, good. Yeah, same one that Frank uses up on the hill there. Well, that'll let you reach out, but of course you're limited by your terrain there. Anyway, good to hear you. Good, strong signal, and band seems to be pretty quiet here. We had a pretty nice weekend. We did talk to our friends in South Africa a couple of times on the long path on 20. Signals were booming with signals in 20 to, and I got a couple of 30/9 reports in Africa, so things working well here. We had check-ins from, where's the HS0? Why can't I get? Thailand, I guess. Thailand checked in, and a couple of other places out there in hinterland in between. Oh, no, I had a nice chat with a guy in Namibia today. I chatted with the friends on the long path to Africa, and then all of a sudden V51 X-ray or V51 WW broke in, and he's in Namibia. When I first heard the call, I was thinking he said E51, which put him in the Pacific. And he said, no, V for Victor, V51. I'm in Namibia. I had worked him before. I knew who it was, but I just misheard the call. So we had pretty good worldwide conditions, particularly on 20 long path this morning. WB6 JNP, and then we'll get down the way and see who else is down south, K6 MYC.
Okay, Mike, I had a guy used to, one of the engineers at Andrew Corp. He was also a ham, and he would do both long and short path, and he actually had two antennas set up, and he would sit there with an oscilloscope and watch the timing difference between the two to decide which was better. So, it's like field engineers, we get carried away with weird things.
Yeah, well, a lot of times the long and the short paths are not open at the same time. However, I think we could have worked the Africans on the short path as well, but the long path is so good. It's quiet. There's not too many people on the band, and there's a few. You're always getting the Yankee Bravos in Indonesia checking in, and of course you're open to Japan, but they don't bother you. Yankee Bravos and the Thailand and Vietnam and all those places check in when they can, and then you get other local guys too that want to get a report from Africa. It's fun. Anyway, let's see who else is in here. I'm sure we've got others starting to collect on the frequency now. This is K6 MYC Bozo Net beaming south, but taking check-ins from anybody that hears my voice.
KK6. Okay, Mike. Yeah, and the interesting thing is that kind of like the old timers, we actually know about long path, short path. The new people, all they want to find out is, can you hear me? Anyway, we'll catch you later. K6MYC, WB6JNP, 107 going back to dinner.
Yeah, fine, Dan. Yeah. Can you hear me yet? That's what we got this morning from several different directions. But one thing that did happen over the weekend, my grandson, who has just moved to Idaho, got on 40 meters, got his dipole up and was in the process of tuning it, so he had it down about 8 or 9 feet above ground, and I worked him nicely. He was S9 last night on 40, so we got a great path up to northern Idaho. And when he gets it up at 40 feet, it's going to be really good. That was just with 100 watts. So K6 KJS, K6 Kenny John Stahl is going to be on here shortly. After many years, he's had his license since he was 10 or 12. And when he got his license, we gave him an ICOM 706 that we had, Myrna and I, and he still got the radio. It's playing beautiful, and he used it to tune up the dipole, that and a bridge, and he tuned it for the best VSWR, but it was way out of band when he first put the dipole up. I told him to make it a little long, and the thing was resonant at 6.4 megahertz, so he had to take off about 3 feet. Anyway, came out good, and of course the radio is carefully designed to shut down. He could only get 20 watts on the frequency we wanted to talk on. And then when he got the thing tuned up where it had a reasonable VSWR on 7180, he got 120 watts out, so I was real happy. Anyway, that's one of the big accomplishments for the weekend. Aside, last week was a good week. We got the barn roof on, and we also got a property piece that we've been working on for quite a while purchased, and we got the title. So that was a big week last week. Let's see who else I heard you, Terry. KK6ZKE. Go ahead and give Judy your number again. Go ahead.
We'll be with you in a minute, Ben. I got local traffic, KM6SRR.
Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, not much going on. Still working on the audio amps. Had a bad TO39 socket. It cost me an hour and a half.
I'll be darned. Well, give us your call sign and your number so Judy can write it down here. Over.
KK6ZKE 704.
There you go. Good signal. Good to hear you. And it was a nice weekend for working in the garage. It wasn't too hot. A little warm at times, but as long as you weren't in the sun, it wasn't bad. Anyway, very good evening to you, Terry. And good signal as always here. Rob, who did you say was trying to check in?
Yeah, a little bit ago, Ben was there, N6SWR, when Dane was talking, so he probably didn't hear Dane. I was barely hearing Dane myself there, over.
Well, Dane's got the Aggie up, and he's pointed it down south, so you're off to the side of it. N6 Sugar Whiskey Radio, the 2-meter and now 432 man, K6MYC. Go ahead, Bozo.
I'm the big Bozo here in Bakersfield, and you're over at S7 in here. You're really loud tonight. Thank you so much. And Rob as well is very loud. N6SWR. Propagation must be good.
Yeah, it's very good. Ben, give Judy your number.
247, Bozo number 247. Not the oldest, not near the oldest, but I think we're at about, what, 1230 or something like that?
I think we're, what, 1164 or something like that, Rob?
Yeah, I'm checking. Hang on.
While he's checking, W6BBS72 checking in with Beacon News.
There's guys been doing it much longer, no doubt.
Okay, I missed a little bit of that, Ben. Good evening, Frank. Hang on a second with the Beacon News. What did you say, Ben?
Well, I was just saying I'm by far not the longest Bozo out here, on the net or anything, but there's other guys been out there on the net a lot longer, but there's a whole bunch behind me. N6SWR back to net.
Yeah, no, you're doing fine. You've been on doing this net stuff for a long time. You're a good, solid, stable Bozo. I think Rob's we're up in 1160 somethings. What's the number, Rob?
1154, and then of course we have Jim PQL. It's after that, so we've got 1155 members now. Over.
Yeah, Jim has got a special number because he started the 1296 net. We're talking about W6PQL, so we gave him the special number that he asked for, which is 1296. Hi. Okay, let's see. There was. Frank's got news on the Beacon, so listen up, everybody. W6BBS, K6MYC.
K6MYC in the net, and you can repeat this as you go along, Mike, but I got home, and as you know, I told you I poured concrete this morning, so I was doing the next steps so that, another day or so when that's cured enough, I can just go ahead and put this all the way up. And in the course of doing that, I did something that might drive me crazy down the road, but I decided, why don't we have a request some propagation beacon? So I've got a rotor on the very tippy top of the tower, and then out of the tower is 13 foot of mast, and on the top of that is a rotor, and sitting above the rotor is a 1296, the CM49 there, and it's on a rotor. Now currently, because I just stood it up and cranked it part way up just before I walked in the door here, it hasn't been turned yet, so it's pointed due south right now, but it is operating. And I'm going to point it at 300 for now. Point being is on 1296, if somebody's going to be doing some testing or something and lets me know ahead of time, I could conceivably point that in their direction for that day, yada, yada. Also, your slugs, brought them home, did some testing. All Viswar and everything looks beautiful, no reflection or anything. And I was actually running the 1296 at about 13 watts, so I didn't have it, but I was being pretty careful with your transverter there. So I've got that up to 20 watts now. And I was actually running a little low on 432. I thought I was running a little hotter than I was, so I got that up to 20. So those two bands are both running at 20. The 2 meter one, I got to take that radio apart, adjust it, so I just left it at 25. So the beacon is now, the 1296 is on the 49er with 20 watts, currently pointed south. And as soon as I get the cable run in the building and hook a control box up to it, I'll point it at 300 unless requested otherwise. That's it from Bozo 72. Good evening, Judy and Mike, W6BBS.
Okay, very good. Thanks for the report, Frank. Good deal on the 1296 beacon in your direction on demand. We'll have to just write your email address down and send you a little note or text you. Please rotate to 289 degrees. This is W6PQL. I'm doing some testing. Over.
Yeah, roger that. That was what kind of gave me the idea, since I am really bidirectional right now. Of course, strongest off the front, but it still works off the back. But I just got to thinking, I'm always cutting somebody out. So this way, if somebody actually needs it, they just got to, and they've got it posted on the Bozo Net webpage there, in the little page about me and the beacon, that to contact me with any beacon stuff on my QRZ email address, and that is just fine. And if somebody gets an email to me ahead of time, I will attempt to accommodate them. Over.
Yeah, good. Okay. So for testing on a weekend or whenever they need it, you can rotate the big high gain thing with 7 or 8. Oh, no, you got 20 watts now. I keep thinking you're running the 9700 into it, but you're not. You don't have a 9700, do you?
Just the one I'm talking to you on.
Okay.
Don't you remember? You picked this one up for me at Dayton.
No, I thought I did. No, I was just thinking, why does he need another 1296, duh? Well, one for the beacon and one for you. I'm just not thinking here, Frank. Forget my comment. Anyway, we got 20 watts in the beacon into a 49er antenna with about 20 dB of gain. So the 20 watts is 2,000 watts of effective radiated power going whichever way we point it. So it ought to be heard on 1296.275 pretty easily when we point it toward you on your request. All right, let's see. I hear the guys in LA underneath you, but let's just take a standby. And Rob, did you want to say hi to Ben, and then we'll look for, I don't think Rick's in here because he usually blasts in with old Bozo 61, but we'll still stand by and see if he is here. But go ahead, Rob, and say hello to Ben and others here.
Let me slide in real quick. 982.
982. We got you, Daryl. KG6 Charlie Echo Fox. Thanks, and we'll get it to you in a minute. Go ahead, Rob.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Yes, Ben, how you doing? N6SWR, KM6SRR.
Hey, Rob, you're hitting here almost to S8. I'm surprised because I know you're not running the power or the antenna that Mike is, but you might be pointed a little better. N6SWR, back to net.
Okay, Ben. Yeah, Mike might have a little bit of dirt or something in the way down to where you are. So, and Rick, we got to call his number, Mike. Otherwise, he usually doesn't answer. KB6RQU. Rick, you on tonight for the 2-meter Bozo Net? KM6SR with K6MYC. Standing by.
Yeah, I'm here with Bozo 61, KB6RQU. Good evening.
Good evening, Rick. Hey, I got somebody that was interested in that Kenwood radio that you had there. It's what's a 990 or something like that. Are you still thinking about getting rid of it? Over.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. I'll have to give you a landline there and see how much you want for it, and get back to the other guy or put you in touch with him there. Over.
Okay, I'm not in charge of the phone right now, so we'll have to do it soon. Over.
Okay, do it over the radio, or I didn't hear exactly what you said. Over.
I'm not in charge of the telephone right now.
You're not in charge of it, or you don't have it with you?
Both.
WB6 ISO.
Okay, how do you want to talk about it? Over.
How do you want to get the buyer in touch with you, Rick? What should he do to get in touch with you after you tell Rob what you want for it? Over.
I'm not sure. There's quite a bit of trouble here. Over.
Okay. Well, you can't sell it if you don't don't make it available. That's all. If you want to move the product, you got to figure out some way to get the information to Rob at least. Maybe you can borrow a phone or something and tell Rob what the model number is and what you want for it approximately. It's probably a negotiable number, and then you probably. Are you okay for the guy to come and get it at your location, or could you meet him at some place like Bakersfield or something? Over.
Oh boy, I don't know, Mike. Like I said, things are really messed up over here. I don't know what to say about it. I'll see if I can give Rob a call tomorrow. Over.
Okay, yeah, give Rob a call tomorrow and you can sort some of that issues out. Okay, very good. Well, maybe the thing to do is have somebody like Rob come by there one of these days, or Ken, pick the thing up and then just put it in a position where it can be shown and it can be delivered or shipped to somebody very easily. Once you got it here, we could ship it from M Squared. That wouldn't be a problem. We know how to do that. But you got to get it out of your location, so we can do that. Over.
Yes, I understand that. Over.
Okay. Well, you work out some details like that with Rob, and then maybe you can even meet somebody downtown in Lake Isabella there, and just shift it from one trunk to another. Over.
Yep, we'll figure something out.
All righty, very good. Well, good to hear you in here. Thanks for coming in. We missed you last week, and particularly on Thursday. Ben was in here on Thursday and had a pretty good signal. We actually had a conversation, albeit not perfect with Ben, but it was pretty good. He's getting a better signal now up this way from Bakersfield, so we could sure use yours in there as well. 73, and stand by on the frequency, and we'll see if there's anybody else wants to say hello to you. Can you give me the model number of the radio that you have there? It's brand new. What was the model number again?
I know what it is, Mike. Kenwood 990.
The Kenwood TS990. I think that's a real high-end, beautiful radio. Brand new. It's only been turned on a few times by Rick down there. It's never been really hooked up to anything. So it's essentially a brand new radio. All righty. Let's see who else we have down south. We got a lot of people yet to check in. K6MYC Bozo Net, aiming south.
The guy that's interested there, Rick, is a local guy, so I could help get all that happening for you. KB6RQU, KM6SR. Thanks, Rick, for being there. Over.
Okay, very good.
73s, I'm still listening. KB6RQU. I'm hearing Ben pretty good. I'm anxious to hear you on 432.
Roger, roger. You're sounding loud here in Bakersfield tonight.
Hey, very good. You've been sounding really good yourself.
All right, back to net. Thank you much. N6SWR.
Okay, thanks, Ben. Thanks, Rick. Now, who else was on the net here on the frequency that wants to check into the Bozo Net? I'm pointed down toward and through the San Joaquin Valley toward Bakersfield and Los Angeles, but I'll take check-ins. Oh, I did hear you, Dennis. So if you could copy me, Dennis, Judy put down number 86, and we'll get Dennis in here. Dennis, what do you got? Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, Mike, very good. Pleasant evening to you and Rob and the rest of you down there in Southern California, and I'm copying all the way up here in the Northern California area. Anyway, appreciate an early check-in, and also for 160 and 336, if it can get us all checked in, that'd be greatly appreciated. Over.
Okay, we got 336 and 160 in here. A little bit of QRM on you. I didn't copy everything, but we did get the relays. We did copy the relays, but the LA boys are stronger than you are off the back. Over.
Yeah, I do hear the LA boys down there say good evening to them for me and to Rob and the rest of the gang down there. You're all sounding mighty fine up this way. Good condition tonight. 73, take care. WB6 ISO, Bozo 86.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. Okay, anybody else in the San Joaquin Valley or thereabouts? K6MYC Bozo Net for check-in.
Kilo Golf 6, Queen Nancy Yankee, Bozo 1091.
Okay, 1091. What was the call?
Kilo Golf 6, Queen Nancy Yankee. It's Marcus.
Okay, Marcus, I just didn't catch the call there. Good evening to you, Marcus. Good to hear you again on the band. We've been missing you here. I know you've been over at Ken's place a couple of times when there was a net going on and so on. So no problem. Good to hear you tonight. And there was somebody else in there also, I think, when you called in. So let's see who the other station was. This is Kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie Bozo Net. Over.
Yeah, there's two, Mike. You got KR6MR and somebody else. Who's the other one? Okay, you had KR6MR. I didn't catch the other call sign, but there was somebody else, Mike. Over.
They're chomping at the bit. I haven't even gotten out of the Bay Area. I mean, I haven't gotten even around in their direction yet, but I guess the conditions are so good they're hearing us. You can tell John we've got him checked in, and hopefully he can stick around until we get pointed at him there. Over.
Yeah, Roger. KR6MR, you copying W6BBS? Oh, okay. Very good, John. Very good. Yeah, Mike, he hears you as well, and he's going to stick around until you get up there and you can continue the conversation. Over.
Okay, very good.
Let's see if there's any LA guys in there. W6PMD or John, USS, you on tonight? Over. LA Bozo guys, this is Northern California Bozo Net. Anybody hearing us down there? Over. Okay, we got number 85. Are you doing net control tonight? Over. Okay, you want to check us relay check-in for us? There's Mike here, number 47, and Rob, 432. Over.
Okay, this is KB6 University down Sierra Sierra. Bozo 831 looking north up to Lone Pine there. Are you copy?
There you go. You came up a bit there, John, so we got you now. Over.
Yeah, it's been a cluster there for sure. All right, got you really good down here in Southern California. And I'm glad you were able to hear my station.
Roger, yeah, thank you. That's KM6SR, number 432. And go ahead, Mike.
I can't copy him.
Oh, Mike can't copy you. That's interesting. He's Bozo 47 there, K6MYC. Over. Roger. Okay, we'll let you get back to your net, and we'll get back to ours. Thanks for being there, KM6SR.
You never gave his call, Rob. Rob, we need his call sign.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. Hang on.
Oh, I thought you had it. I know it's 85. We can look it up.
Well, no, 85 is a different guy, but I was just talking to John, 831. That's KG6USS, over.
Yeah, okay.
Number 85, Kilo India 6, Charlie, Hotel, Hotel.
Okay, well, we're missing a lot of people in the San Joaquin Valley here, but I can go over to Atascadero if we don't get anybody now. I'm clobbered here with the LA guys. Some of them are strong, some of them aren't. But USS wasn't very good for me tonight. He was very hollow. I may not be pointed just right. Anyway, QRZ Bozo Net, Northern Central California, kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie.
Yeah, Mike K6MYC W6PMD, you're booming in here now. You're 5.9 plus. Bozo 58.
Yeah, thank you, Pat. W6PMD number 58. 58 for Judy. K6MYC. Thank you, Pat. Good to hear you. And number 47, of course. And Rob's already checked me in with John there.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, you guys are booming in here now. Just about 2 minutes ago, I could barely hear you guys. I had a hard time hearing the guys in Arizona, so my receive is kind of funky here this evening, but just suddenly came alive when, I don't know if you rotated the antenna or what, but slamming in here full slam now.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Pat. Good to hear you. Okay, QRZ again, Bozo Net, Northern and Southern Central California, K6MYC, over.
K6USY.
K6USY, are you in the tank? Boy, you're weak. You're weaker than the LA guys.
I think you got me in a null right now, Mike.
That's possible. Okay, at 1079 and 1100 duty.
Yep, roger. K6USY.
Yeah, that should be better. I moved the antenna. I was a little bit further south than I normally go, trying to pick up John there, but I probably went the wrong direction and made it weaker for you. Good evening to you, sir.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, there you go. Now you can hear me. Yeah, my puny little 100 watts here in West Fresno, but we are here and we'll be listening out. K6USY, Delta Mike 06.
Okay, very good. By the way, my grandson now is on 40 meters up in Idaho, in Athol, Idaho, and he was on, he'll have the antenna up probably either tonight or tomorrow. He may be on later tonight. We'll be on around 7178, 7178. He's a general, so we have to be up in that part of the band. So you might poke around and see if we're there, 7178 at 9 or 9:30 when this net is over. Anyway, his call, K6 Kilo Juliet Sierra, K6 KJS for Kenny John Stahl, Aaron, over.
Very good. Yeah, there's always a group of guys that hang out on that frequency that aren't speaking English, so I'm sure you will run into them. I don't know if they're like Filipino or, I think that's the Filipino guys, but anytime I listen to 178, most of the time they're not speaking English. So you might have to move just a little bit higher up, but very good. K6USY.
Well, we were on there 2 or 3 times Saturday and didn't run into any QRM until the evening, and then we didn't have any QRM, but when I signed with Kenny, then a whole bunch of guys checked in. One guy from Wyoming, another guy from Cucamonga, or not Cucamonga, but oh, for heaven's sake, I forgot the name of the town down there in LA, and then another guy from Seattle, and a couple of others in there. So it was nice to hear other people, and Kenny said he could copy everybody, so the little dipole's working pretty well. Anyway, so much for that, Aaron. So you'll recognize that call, perhaps K6KJS. and he's on here, but he'll be up in the general part of the band. All right, let's see. Anybody else before we go toward Atascadero? Kilowatt 6, Mike Yankee Charlie, Bozo Net. Okay, Atascadero, here we come.
Yeah, you're not making it up the hill, John. 6MI 711 is in there, Mike.
Got it? Okay, 6MI 711. Thank you, Aaron. I don't hear him at all.
Oh, dear. Okay. In and out.
Well, now I heard you.
Oh, okay. Okay, 6MI 711.
Yeah, I might have doubled with you.
No, I think you just had us in a null down here.
Possibly. Okay, I'm over toward Atascadero now, and I'm looking for W6QUI, KN6EIV, or KN6 Whiskey Bravo Whiskey. Whiskey Romeo Whiskey.
You gotta get us all tonight. Good evening, Mike. W6QUI here, KN65.
God, you're really weak this evening. Are you pointed at me, Ron?
Oh, yes. You're loud and clear.
He's S8 down here.
I'm pointed right at you.
I'll be darned. No, you're way down for me. 20 dB below normal.
Hold on, Mike. There we go. You had the preamp off here on your 9700. That should be better.
Oh, I turned the preamp on earlier. I don't know why it would have been off.
Okay, am I louder now?
Yeah, you're better now.
Okay. I'll check in again in case you didn't get that. W6QUI 1055.
Judy got you, 1055. Thank you for that, Ron. How was your weekend?
It was good. We have another check-in standing by.
We're ready. Have them go ahead.
This is Kilo November 6, Echo India Victor, Bozo number 1044.
Okay, good evening, Eric, KN6EIV from the home QTH. You're not very loud here, but you're readable. And we got your 1044 all okay. Good to hear you. Good to hear you back on the air, Eric. Over.
Roger that, Mike. Yeah, I'm up on the hill and I'm on the TR 9130, so I'm just putting out 25 watts here.
Okay, well that may be why you're a little weaker than Ron. 25 watts, so you're doing good. Sometimes I don't hear you at all. Are you in the car or are you home?
I am mobile.
Okay, so you're in the mobile there. That explains it. Okay, very good. Well, good to hear you. And one of these days we'll get the home station hooked up and you'll be able to work you from there and you won't have to drive to the hill every time. Hi. I wonder if you guys could take a standby and see if Bill is there, KB6WRW.
Check Bill in. Yeah, Mike, Bill called earlier and he wanted us to check him in WRR, KB6WRR. His Bozo number is 1052.
USL 1052. It's WRW, I think, is his call. KB6 Whiskey, Romeo Whiskey, I think. Over.
Roger that.
Yeah, okay. Well, good to hear you, Eric. What's your plans for getting the home antenna fixed up and going again?
Well, Mike, you know, I've been pretty busy this summer with rentals over in Bakersfield, so I just haven't had the time, and also been doing a lot of hiking, getting ready for another hiking trip.
Okay. Well, you got to do that hiking, get your legs in shape for climbing those ladders. Hi. All right, Eric. But good to hear you. 7-3, and thanks for checking in. Back to you, Ron, for a final W6QUI in the group, K6MYC.
Okay, very good. So everything's cool over here except the weather.
cool in the evening, but not during the day. Yeah, Bill was mobile, so he knew that you wouldn't hear him, you know, being vertical and so forth. Probably less power too, so that's why he checked in through Eric there. All right, so 7-3's over there. Hi to everybody, and we're gonna go down. We're gonna go up the band and chat a bit here. W6 QUI.
Okay. Any chance we're gonna see you on Tuesday?
Possibly. I was there last Tuesday. We just never heard anybody.
Oh, really? Because I think, well, I don't know. I can't remember one weekend from another, but I thought Bill was here. I thought Bill and Mike were here. They both could have heard you. But we'll have somebody there, I'm sure. And Frank up here is working better and better. He hears you quite nicely on all bands. So he's got the antennas higher and higher on his end. Frank, you want to make a transmission for Ron there? Over.
Yeah, Roger. Good evening, Ron. W6QUI, W6BBS, and hello to Eric on the side there, too, and whoever else is listening. Mike, in fact, it would work a lot better if I was the relay for a Tascadero, especially on 1296, because I hear everybody, even Bill when he's sideways, and once they get sideways and get to talking, you don't hear them too good. But anyways, and it seems to me, I could be wrong, Mike, but I seem to remember as we were coming around that you said that Ron wouldn't be there, and we just kept right on going. But I like I said, I could be wrong about that. But anyways, I will definitely be make a point of making some noise on your direction on 1296 on Tuesdays there, Ron. W6QUI, W6BBS 72 in DMO7.
Okay. Very good, Frank. Yeah, you're really loud. And it was a week before last that I wasn't there, but last week I was, and I heard some weak signals, nothing really potent. I stuck around for about 8, and I gave up and went back in the house. But I will plan to be there this Tuesday. Over.
Oh, yeah. I just remembered. Remember, Mike, last Tuesday, it was flaky. It was weird, and we didn't have very many check-ins, and it was a really bad night.
Yeah, we might have skipped by you, but because it was so bad, Ron, I may not have even turned down your way. Over.
Yeah, it seemed like somebody else was doing the check-ins. I'm not sure you were there.
I was there.
Oh, okay. Somebody else was relaying, but they were very weak, and as weak as they were, I knew they wouldn't hear me.
Well, I think I was having a little problem with the radio or something. I was there, but I was intermittent, so that might have been part of it as well. Look at here. Oh, my goodness. I got Abby up here. He's about to jump up in my lap. He's so hungry for affection and companionship here. If you want to take a break, you could throw some food in their pan out there, Duty. He probably would go out there and eat a little bit if he had a chance. And there's nothing that we can't catch you up on coming up here. Abby's very hungry here. He was waiting around all day. And okay, there you go. All right, let's see. Let's see here. 7-3 for now, Ron, and we'll see you on Tuesday. We will have the 222 net on Monday, and then 6 meters, but I don't think you have either one of those bands yet. 7-3, guys, and thanks, Frank, for giving a good signal down to QUI. By the way, Ron, we do have the beacon. Frank's got the beacon running on 1296 now, so you might want to listen to the beacon. It's pointed more or less your direction. Right at the moment, we're running 20 watts to a 49-element Yagi, and we can point wherever you want us to point it if you need it for testing or one of your other guys need it for testing or anything. It's up, and it's up quite a bit higher than it has been. So that's the story. 20 watts now on 1296, and the beacon is on 1296 275. Over.
Okay. I just turned the radio on, but I don't hear it.
Well, I think he turns it off when the net's going here.
No, it's on right now.
Oh, it's on now.
And it's pointed south right now. And I haven't checked it, but it may be a little bit off frequency. You may have to find it, because when I first turn it on, that's an old 2-meter radio driving a transverter, and it drifts back and forth for a while, and it's usually about 4 or 5 hours before it really settles down to one spot. So, and I just kind of chase it up and down. So, but the beacon should be there.
Okay, what frequency is it again? 207, did you say?
No, 275 plus or minus 1 or 2.
Okay, I'm tuning it in right now. 275. I don't hear anything.
You're going to hear dip, 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 and then it'll identify. It does that about 10 times for about 15 seconds. Over.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll move the beam here after we sign and see if I can hear it. All right. Thanks for the info on that. That would be good for me, because I can kind of see how the propagation is.
Hey, Ron? Yeah, okay, I got it now. Listen, all beacons are going to be on 275. There's already one on 144, 275. There's one on 432, 275, and now 1296, 275. And we're looking for bits and parts and transverters and whatever we get, and eventually we're going to get on 220 as well, and it'll be 220.275, just for your information. Over.
No, it won't. It'll be on 222.275.
Okay, yeah, and Hawaii's what, 27 something, isn't it? 277 or something like that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'll have to, the 2-meter one was down in Hawaii, and he sent it back to Chip. I'm sure he's got it fixed and back over there. So hopefully that'll be running, if it be back up running by now.
I think it's on 178.
Oh, yeah, whatever it is. I got it written down here somewhere.
Frank's beacons are up on 275.
Yeah, I understand that.
Alrighty.
Thanks for the info, and I think I have to move the antenna slightly off of where I have it to get a better signal from Frank's location, but I'll play with this after we get off here.
Well, again, it's on a very narrow antenna, which might have you in a side null. He just put it up. He doesn't have the rotator cable hooked up. It's got a rotator on it. In a couple of days, he'll be able to rotate it, but tonight he can't rotate it. So it's kind of just due south, and it may be off far enough. You know, it's got a very big gain pattern, but it's very narrow also. It's a 49-element Yagi with 20 plus dB of gain, but it's very narrow, so that may be the only reason you don't hear it. It'll be because it won't be pointed at you exactly. But if he points it at you, it should be gangbusters. Over.
Well, yeah, sure it will be at that power. The fact that he hears my 10 watts over there, so we should have a good pass.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, let you go. We'll be going on with it, and we'll see you. Maybe we'll see you Tuesday, or at least we'll hear you check in here. I may not hear you, but somebody else will. 73 Ron, 73 to you, Eric, KM6EIV. WB6 WRW, W6QUI, Atascadero, and Paso Robles, K6 MYC, 73.
Okay, may I continue or finish my response now, please?
I thought you had finished. Go ahead.
Every time I put my foot down and start talking, you're talking when I let my foot up. So, anyways, Ron, I had just thought about that, you know, as we're going along there, and I've been trying to get in and tell you that yeah, it's currently pointed due south, and I just remembered that antenna, if I'm pointed due south, I can't hear you, and you can't hear me, and I got to turn it to the right a little bit. But if there's any time that you're wanting to do specific testing or anything, you let us know. I'll make sure it's pointed right at you. And like Mike said, it just stood it up tonight, and I'll have a rotor under it tomorrow. And typically it's going to be pointed at 300 degrees unless specifically requested otherwise there, Ron. W6QUI, W6BBS.
Okay, Frank, I understand. That's probably why I'm not hearing it then. It probably needs to be in my direction. Okay, well, 73.
Yeah, you might be able to point down the valley and pick it up off of the other end of the valley, south of Bakersfield there.
Yeah, I am gonna move the antenna around and see if it may get a bounce off of something.
Okay, I would tune low. It's on upper sideband. You can hear it for a couple of kilohertz at different pitches. If you're on 274, you should be able to hear it. All right, 7-3. K6MYC going up to Santa Cruz. Here we go.
Good evening, Ron. W6QI, KM6SR, 73.
You still there, Frank?
Yeah, I am. I heard several people talking, and I wasn't sure who was talking to who. Who's talking to me? I heard you, Ron. Go ahead.
Eric wanted to know if you could meet us down up on 250 if you have time.
Yeah, I can come up there for a couple of minutes. I am quite often listening for strange stuff for Mike being a little bit of a relay, but no, I'll come up to 250 for a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. W6BBS. I'll be off the net frequency for a bit, guys. QSY.
You there, Mike? K6MYC, KM6SR.
Yeah, say it again, Rob.
I was just seeing if you were there. There was quiet for a minute there. I doubled with him there. I was just trying to say hello to Ron, so I'll just stand by and be quiet there.
I didn't hear you double, but you're stronger than he is. I thought he was done 3 times, so I don't know what he's doing there tonight. I'm toward the Bay Area, but I can back it up a little bit to Santa Cruz. Tom, I wonder if you're copying KW6S, Kilo Whiskey 6 Sugar, K6MYC. KW6S, KW6S, or Alpha Foxtrot 6 United. KW6S or AF6U. Either one of you here? How about you, Lee?
AF6 United. I am on frequency.
And we need your Bozo number.
The countdown Bozo, 1098. Roger, roger.
Yeah, good signal. Booming in here.
All right. Well, I was playing with the beacons on Saturday midday. On beacons on both 432 and 144, and I think I got things tweaked up as much as possible, and I was really surprised that 432 I was getting the beacon in much stronger than I've ever heard you, and which really astounds me because of the power differences and all of that kind of stuff. So I looked at the profiles. I looked at some map profiles just a little while ago tonight, and it was amazing. There is like the line of sight between me and Coarsegold and me and Friant is there's to Coarsegold, there's like a dip in the thing over in the profile over San Luis Reservoir, and looking at you, there is like a 2,600-foot mountain right in between both of us.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm surprised you're as strong as you are from Watsonville.
Yeah, so I can imagine on 432. I mean, 144 is one thing, but 432, you know, the amount of extra power that would be required for that. And I even have the newer radio is basically 2.5 times stronger than the old radio was on 432. I went from 20 watts to 50 watts.
So I was expecting at least to be able to hear and be heard, but I guess that big hunk of rock in between us is the big impediment there.
Okay, well, you confused me a little bit because I'm north of San Luis Reservoir already. I can say physically about 3 miles north of the face of the dam. Over.
Okay. Well, from the profile that I'm looking at, it draws a line from my QTH to your QTH at what is it, Millerton Lake, on the north side of Millerton Lake, and it's south of San Luis Reservoir, and there's like this mountain peak that pops up just south of San Luis Reservoir, and the pathway is right across the top of that mountain peak.
Wait a minute. San Luis Reservoir, that's nowhere near me. That's 80 miles to the west and north of me. Over.
Yeah, that's right. That's the big reservoir there that we always have to drive through or, drive around to get to Highway 5 when we want to go, up and down the state and whatnot. Anytime we want to get to the other side of the foothills that are over here, we've got to go around San Luis Reservoir. So, it's pretty amazing what a little bit of rock is going to do to the signal strength.
Well, I wonder why. Okay, well, anyway, we'll see what happens. That might have been a fluke in terms of the signal strength. The beacon has 20 watts. It wasn't running 20 watts last week. It was, Frank said it was down a little bit, about 10, maybe a little less. And it was also just running into a 432 egg beater, which has 2 dB of gain. You're listening to me at 800 watts and 2 XP40s side by side at 90 feet with a gain of 25 or 30, 25 anyway, 25 dB gain. Over.
Roger. Yeah, no, I could say that I fully understand, but I don't fully understand. However, I do realize that you're pushing a lot of power out in this direction, and you've got a highly focused beam, and you're up at a high elevation. I'm only at 400 feet above the valley floor down below us, and I only have, a 3-element beam on 2 meters here, and I've got the Quaggy that I built on 432, so... But yeah, it was amazing the difference between pointing to coarse gold and then moving the beam 5 degrees further south and pointing towards you. It's not a whole lot, but there is a huge piece of rock in between you and me.
Well, I can see that. Yeah, driving through the hills there from Pacheco Pass. I know that there's a lot of terrain in there. I'm just surprised you're finding a gap to get to coarse gold, but you must be on the north side of the reservoir by quite a bit, and there must be a gap in the mountains there. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see if that holds. That's a wonderful path to Frank. If you've got it like that, you guys are going to be rock crushing to each other. Anyway, good evening to you, 1098, and let's see if Tom is in here. How about it, Tom? KW6 Sugar, over. No Tom tonight, okay. We are holding it together for the Santa Cruz, Watsonville area there, Lee. Thanks very much for coming in. Anybody else want to say, Rob, are you copying Lee? Rob must be downstairs eating. How about you, Frank? Well, Frank's up the band with W6QUI. He isn't back yet.
WB6JNN?
WB6JNN. Give us your number, Jim.
285. When I lived in Watsonville, I worked Chowchilla with my tour.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said when I lived in Watsonville, actually Las Lomas, I was able to work Chowchilla on 2-meter AM with my tour.
Oh, is this when you said when you were living in Watsonville and working over there?
That's when I was in high school, actually, or junior college, actually. And I worked into Chowchilla quite regularly from there with a tour, and especially later with the TX62.
Yeah, very good. Well, that must be the path. There must be a real good shot through there. He said the beacon was stronger than I was. The beacon, of course, can run 20 watts, and Frank just turned it up, I think, today. But it was running a little bit lower than that at 10 watts or so. But into an egg beater. So it shows you there's a virtual line of sight path there. He said it was much stronger than he's ever heard me on 432. And you know what I'm running. So anyway, very good, Jim. Thanks for the confirmation that Watsonville has a path to Chowchilla. And Frank's Frank's sort of in a line with Chowchilla, maybe a tad south, but he's also got quite a bit of elevation. He's almost 2,000 feet up there, over.
Well, it depends on mountaintops, too. He might have a mountaintop, and Frank might have a mountaintop. That both are at the right place to, get into where he's at.
Anyway, how was your weekend? What were you up to?
Oh, just lazing around watching the cats, pretty much, and the birds. I got a bird feeder as well, so I lay on the patio, and if it's too hot, I come inside. But we've been we call ourselves the patio posse.
You and the cat, huh? Okay. Very good. Well, good to hear you. Thanks for coming in. You're not bodacious here tonight. I've heard you a lot better on 2 meters. Quite surprising, because Lee from Watsonville was just pounding in here. He's only running a 3-element Yagi over there. In Watsonville, I think about 100 watts or 50 watts or something. But he's pounding in here, and you're quite weak. But we have a different path. There's no doubt about that. All right. You want me to turn this on, Judy? We can give you air conditioning. You want air?
Well, bottom line, the two places I lived in Watsonville were both pretty good. So I think the hills are small. Must be some lower hills over into the valley from there.
Okay. I know there is. There's a lot of stuff in the way. Some days it's really good. All right, let's see who else is in here, Jim, but good to hear you, and certainly look for you tomorrow night on 222, and hopefully a little bit on 6 if you can hear anything on 6. Hi. I know you got local noise there. K6MYC with WB6JNN, Bozo Net, Bay Area, taking check-ins, over.
N5NPD, 1129.
Hi, Brett. Good to hear you. 1129, we got you. And good to hear you. Real good, strong signal here on the other side of the hills from Jim. You and Jim are back-to-back with each other. You guys can't be more than 20 miles apart. But he's looking into that hill that you have behind you, and you're looking toward me with nothing. Your line of sight to my antennas. Anyway, take one, and then we'll see who else is here, Brett, over.
Oh, very good. Good evening, Mike and Judy. Yeah, I heard you talking about San Luis there, and I'm just probably 10 miles north of the San Luis there, here at the base of the hills there. And yeah, my line of sight to you is direct. There's absolutely nothing in the way there. So anyhow, yeah, long weekend, friends and stuff. We went camping up in Tuolumne County there, so had to come home and mow the lawn, of course, and do all that. So I'll try to get on tomorrow on 6 meters. And we'll see what happens there. I got a little bit more power on 6 meters now, so we'll see how that works out for us. I'll send it back over to you, Mike.
Okay, fine, Brett. Well, I don't think we've had any trouble with you on 6, but I think you were stronger on 2 than you were on 6. But you and Merle both have good signals over here now. I had trouble one night with Merle, but it was just because I had so much solar inverter noise from my neighbor over here. All right, very good. Let's see who else we have in the Bay Area. I should have quite a gang on there tonight. KD6SOK should be there. WA6AXX should be there. WS6PQL should be there. And AB6SR. We could get KB6 to Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie also. And maybe somebody will surprise me. Who's in the Bay Area? K6MYC Bozo Net. Check-ins.
W6PQL.
Okay, and I heard 787. Good evening, Jimmy. And I hear you, Jim. W6PQL 1296. Hang on just a second. Let me get Jerry taken care of here. Jerry, make a transmission. I think I got to move the antenna a little bit south, a little bit more north for you. KF6QCH. K6MYC. Go ahead, Jimmy.
K6MYC, KF6QCH, Bozo number 787. Good evening, no traffic.
Yeah, good evening. Pretty good signal. I bumped the antenna just a couple of degrees, and you came right on up there. So, what have you been up to? I bet you it's cold in the Bay Area. Getting into winter time, aren't you?
It's okay. It's a little bit breezy earlier. I think we're going to be going back to the warm weather again. I think by tomorrow or Tuesday. By the way, I thought I heard Mike there earlier, KB6WFC.
Okay, well, we'll take a standby and see if we can pull the mic in there. Hang on a second, Jim. KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie, are you here, Mike? K6MYC.
K6QR is here.
K6 who?
Kilo Echo 6 Quebec Romeo. Just letting you know I can hear you pretty good on that heading.
Yeah, I'm not pointed at you yet, Gary, but we'll get there. KE6QR 177. 177. Just hang on a second. We'll be right up your way, Gary. So I didn't hear anybody else, Jim, so you pick it up. W6PQL, K6MYC in the group.
Okay, nothing special from over here except tremendous noise level here on 2 meters, and I believe it's probably not those stadium lights. I was mistaken. For some reason I had it in my mind I was pointed south, which is where the stadium lights are. I'm not. I'm pointed 105 degrees for you. But I noticed tonight that as soon as the street lights came on, there was a noise. It was pretty quiet up until then, so there's one or more of them that are singing away. It's pretty good if I point at Paul. That's about 45 degrees off of you. And it's pretty quiet, actually, in his direction. And when I get due south and maybe a little bit past that, it quiets up again, so it's got to be one of those street lights somewhere, or somebody's got something in the neighborhood that's running and makes a lot of noise. Unfortunately, it's right in your direction, but you're above it, of course. I just couldn't hear anybody else over there unless it was Rob on a peak or Frank. He usually has pretty good signal too. So that's the deal. K6MYC W6PQL.
Contact.
Go ahead, Frank.
Hey, W6PQL, W6BBS. Good evening, Jim. You copying okay?
Yeah, you're above it, Frank, by about 2 S units. Good evening to you, too. Over.
Yeah, okay, good deal. Glad to be beating it. I just wanted to let you know, give you the straight scoop here. I now have the one of our 49 element 1296 Yagis up there on the beacon, and I'm in the process of raising it up a little bit. It'll be about 45 feet above the pad here when I'm completed. Just wait for a little bit of concrete to cure. But it's up right now. I just stood it up tonight, and I got a wild idea. It's got a rotor under it, and that rotor was oriented south, so as I stood it up, the antenna was bolted down, pointed south. Don't have the connections to the control box hooked up yet, but I will be turning that, and Mike had suggested from here turn it at about 300 degrees and so on and so forth. But the point is I put the rotor in it because I got to thinking, you know, if somebody's doing some specific testing and they want a signal for a day in a certain direction, then I can just point the beacon in that direction until I get a couple more Yagis up there and point in multiple directions. So I thought I would let you know that, Jim, and any of that information you want to post up there on the webpage is good. The beacon is now running 20 watts into a 49 element Yagi at the moment. point itself. PQL, W6QSL, W6PQL, W6BBS.
Okay, Frank. Well, that's good news. I'm glad you're making some progress on it. I haven't put anything on the Bozo Net website about the beacons yet. I know that you guys are still working on them, and I've been pretty busy here, so we'll get that information up there, but it'll probably be about a week, 10 days or so before I can get around to it. It's not that I don't have 10 or 15 minutes to do it, but there's so much going on, so much in my head right now that it would be a distraction, so I've been avoiding doing that for a while. But by then you'll probably have something else configured, but that's good info. Thanks.
Yeah, okay, very good. Yeah, and it just, once we get some more Yagis put together, do something, then we'll just be permanently mounted in 3 or 4 directions. But at least for the time being, it gives us something. Good night, Jim. W6BBS, back to net.
Okay. Very good. Let's see, I got Mike in here, 775, KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie. We got him in there. Who else do we have in the Bay Area before we pick up Gary up there, KE6QR? Anybody else in the Bay Area, please? K6MYC.
WA6AXX, no traffic and got to go.
Okay, 773. Thank you, Ed.
KB6BA 900.
Okay, KB6BA 900. Thank you, Oliver. Good to hear you. And how are you doing? You're playing microwave a lot these days?
Yeah, I went out for another hike today. I'm supposed to get a heat wave in the next couple of days, but I'll be headed to Vancouver, BC on Tuesday, so getting ready for that trip. And so things are going well over.
Yeah, very good. I know you talked about that the other day. That should be fun. Get a chance to rub shoulders rub shoulders with a bunch of the guys up there. There's probably quite a few up there in those areas of British Columbia and northern Washington and stuff that play 10 gigahertz and stuff. So you'll have a lot of fun up there. Good deal. Nice to hear you, Oliver. Thank you. Let me just see if Gary's in here. Gary, WB6WNI, are you here tonight? Oh, I'll be darned. Gary's usually one of the ones that's in here. Okay. And Ed was in and out very quickly. Must have something going on in the background there. Is there anybody else before we pick up KE6QR? K6MYC, over. Okay, I don't hear AB6SR. He must be sleeping next to his glass of Merlot there. Let me go bump the antenna a little bit your way. That should be closer to you, Gary. KE6QR, give us your Bozo number, K6MYC.
Bozo 177, Kilo Echo 6 Quebec Romeo. And yes, that did bump your signal up when you moved the beam. So howdy to everybody on the Bozo Net tonight, enjoying some balmy weather, and you guys are having a good net tonight.
Yeah. Did you get the number, Judy? Yeah. You got it, 177. Okay, good. Yeah, you're up and down, Kerry. I maybe have the antenna not quite on you yet. Bump it another degree or two, and that should get you out of the null that I was in. Anyway, good to hear you. Sorry to keep you waiting there, but we had quite a few guys in the Bay Area, and we're still missing a few, but they'll have to wait till late checks or mist comes up later. Hi. KE6QR, K6MYC.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Always a pleasure working you, and I've been having a lot of fun on the satellites using your M2 sat pack. It's been a lot of fun, and made a bunch of RTTY contacts today in with CQ worldwide. So have a good net, and we'll be listening. KE6QR 73s.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're having fun with the sat pack. Yeah, I remember you talked about that when you got it. I wasn't sure when you were all going to get it going, but I'm glad you got it up and running now and having fun with that. Wonderful. Good stuff. And, okay, on the RTTY contest, I'm sure that Ken will be in here, but he'll be very tired because he was down to a 4-man crew for that contest this weekend, and trying to work all the bands 24/7 for 2 days is a real nightmare But I was looking at the spectrum on 20 and 40, and boy, there was a lot of people on RTTY pounding away. The band spectrum was really lit up down there. Made it nice on phone, though. Most of the guys that would be on there rag chewing on 20 were piddling around with RTTY. 7-3, Gary. Thanks again for checking in. Good to hear you. KE6QR, K6MYC, looking for N6 Radio Oscar.
K6MYC, N6RO, Bozo 835. Howdy do, Punch and Judy.
Punch and Judy, okay. How you holding up there? You looked like the conditions were really good for RTTY, and on the bands all the bands were really storming, huh?
Yeah, right now I'm pointed at the Bay Area, and I heard all of your check-ins down there with the high antenna. I'm going to go back to you now. Yeah, you're much louder when I point you. We got by. We had 3.5 operators. We had no coverage for 24 hours on 20 meters, which really cost us about 500 Qs or more. We had just under 3,200 QSOs. I did 80 meters, had 306 there. Not much activity DX-wise. They just didn't bother to show up. I mean, the propagation was there, particularly to Asia and VKZL, but none of them showed up except JA. They got about 20 of those. So we got by. I'm a basket case, and I'm even too tired to cook dinner, but I'm going to do it anyway, and it's going to be mahi-mahi and asparagus.
Good for you. So, you said you had 3.5 operators. What happened? Did somebody get sick, or they couldn't make it?
Oh, just conflicts. The 24-hour missing on 20 was what is the half that's missing. We had 4 guys that were in it. Full time was N6WM. We used his call. He was just incredibly skilled at running 2 computers, 3 radios. He could cover 3 bands at once with 2 flux systems, and he was doing it all from his condo in Livermore. The guy's amazing. I couldn't keep up with his cursor running across the screen on one of the computers he was running.
Wow. His thing is RTTY. It sounds like he's really got that nailed. What a Trojan he was, man. Oh, man, that's outstanding. Glad you got him on your team. It keeps you kind of in the running anyway. Well, listen, you go take a rest. We'll talk tomorrow. You'll be halfway recovered by tomorrow night on 222 and 6 meters. Big difference when you switch from the Bay Area to the one pointed at me. Signal strength came way up, but you got real fluttery, and that actually made copy worse. You were much better copy in the Bay Area because you didn't have any flutter on you, Canover.
Yeah, I hear the flutter on you also. I'm turning the antenna just a little bit to see if it does anything. Yeah, okay. I didn't do complete 24-hour 7. I mean, all-nighters. I took a 2-hour break Sunday morning in between the stateside and the JA opening. So, but I'm still tired. It'll take me 3 days to recover. Anyway, see you tomorrow night, N6RO.
Yeah, and you said you couldn't work any ZLs or VKs. There was none of those guys on teletype?
They didn't show. I had propagation. I had RBNs showing me in Oceania and in parts of Asia, even one in Europe, but I didn't work any Europe. I got a couple of TR3s in North Africa and EA8. Not many South Americans. The only Oceania I got was a couple of KH6s. So the people just didn't bother to come down to 80.
Oh, I'll be darned. So this was only on 80 where you didn't work anybody on VK. I thought the whole country went quiet, but just on 80 you were struggling for ZLs and VKs. Is that it?
Yeah, right. I got everybody but one that I called or heard. That was the TI-1E, I think, and he couldn't copy anybody. So I busted the pileups and had 306 QSOs, which is almost as much as the leader. We're placed right now on score reporting number 3 in the U.S., North America.
Yeah, well, not bad, considering you had kind of a lopsided crew. Luckily, you had your one guy that was really holding it up for the others a little bit. Okay, well, go rest, get your mahi and your asparagus down, and take it easy. And we'll see you tomorrow night, Ken. Thanks for the rundown. N6 Rodeo Oakley, K6MYC 73.
N6 Rancho, Ontario, going to the kitchen. Bye.
Rancho, Ontario. I like it. Okay. 73. Okay, anybody else in this direction before I go towards Sacramento?
Hey, Mike, could I get that 40-meter frequency you're going to be working later?
Well, it's going to be plus or minus QRM, so I don't know, but we're going to start. We usually start around 7186. And generally, the guys find me because I've got the kilowatt and a 3-element Yagi, so I make a pretty big hole in the band. That's a plus and a minus because I get started on there and then I can't get off, particularly up in the general part of the band. They don't work me up there very often, and they all want to say hi and all that stuff, which is fine. But I got on there last night for a half an hour, and it took me an hour and a half to get off. But so somewhere up there, you'll hear me. You may struggle a little bit with my grandson, but antenna should be up today, a little higher than it was last night. It was only at 8 feet in the middle and 20 feet on the ends. So it was inverted V, or a regular V, a very shallow V, as he was tuning it. But he should have gotten time to pull it up today, and hopefully he'll get on about 9 or 9:30 when the net's over here. He can check. He knows when the net's over because he monitors the stream here, so he'll know when I'm done here. And he'll probably give me a call on the phone, and we'll try 40. 7186 plus, and then we'll just go up from there. Over.
Roger. Thank you very much. Yeah, I got my wire up. It's up good and high. I just thought I'd see if I could get in.
Hey, you might as well. Who is this?
Oh, I'm sorry. Charlie Echo Fox, number 982.
Yeah, well, you should hear Kenny. He was S9 last night with the antenna at 8 or 10 feet, so he should be even stronger tonight. Runs 100 watts to an ICOM 706 in this wire, but he's got sloping ground toward us here. Over.
Right. Okay, well, we'll see what we can do. I'll let you get back to the net.
Thanks, Daryl. K6MYC now going to Sacramento.
Comment N6RO.
Go ahead.
I moved the beam about 10 degrees toward the south away from you, and the flutter went away.
Yeah, well, it was going and coming and going while you were talking, and yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. You just have to get rid of one of the paths that we're bouncing off of there. That's an interference thing that makes that path. I guess it's timing. One path's a different distance than the other, and then you've got a little bit of propagation and delay, and all. It just it gets all funny on VHF, Ken.
Yeah, just like me, I'm bouncing off the wall tonight. Go ahead to Sacramento.
Okay, see ya. Okay, KJ6KFB. How about you, Daryl? Darren, I mean. About KO6KD, Kilo Oscar 6, Kilo Delta.
Yep, KO6KD, number 776. I'm here, and Darren asked about 40 minutes ago. He said he was going to have to go, and he said, will you check me in? So he was here, but he had to leave. So if you could check Darren and KJ6KFB, that he would appreciate it. Over.
Yep, 756, Judy. Okay, we got him, and good evening to you. You got a booming signal up here. Very good conditions from Sacramento and Roseville tonight. Bill, you're very strong. I didn't hear you during the weekend. We had wonderful conditions to Long Path, Africa, both days. on 205, give or take. We started on 207 this morning for a few minutes, but went right down to 205. So you shouldn't have had any trouble finding those two 15 to 20 over 9 signals from Rolf and Billy. Over.
Yeah, was Billy there this morning? Because I know well, by the time I figured out what was going on, it was a little bit after 9 o'clock yesterday. I was up down on 40. Oh well. Anyway, and so eventually, I had been on 20 meters prior to 8 o'clock, and I was listening to Jim, W6LG, and he was talking to ZS6, oh geez, RAY, I guess it is. And so he was talking to him, and then they cleared off, and I said, okay, about 8:30, I guess, 8:20. So I went on back down to 40, and I called out a few times, nobody. But I waited. I figured, well, enough of that. So then I went back up to 20, and then I heard you guys up there. And I heard Billy, oh my gosh, man, he was so much louder than the VK6, the ZS6. Rolf, and all beautiful signals. Oh yeah, 10 dB over 9. And everybody was coming in great. And then, what is it, ZS6 RAY. Anyway, he came on, and then that's when Billy disappeared to go get coffee or whatever it was, and I thought, oh yeah. I remember hearing the guy Ray say that he and Billy were not talking to one another, and I thought, oh yeah, okay, as soon as this guy Ray came on, and then Billy disappeared, I thought, well, that's what it was. He disappeared because he didn't want to talk to the other guy. So I was just wondering if, this morning I didn't even get out of bed till 9:30. Because I was really, really tired. So I'm sorry, Mike. It's just I'm pretty screwed up in the morning anymore. So my apologies. I really would have liked to have chimed in. It seems like you were kind of busy with signal reports and other things. But what I did hear yesterday sure sounded good. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. KO6 Kitty.
Yeah, well, you told me something I don't know. I didn't get a feeling nor a comment from Billy or Ray that they weren't talking. Ray's very tuned up to what's going on. ZS6RAY, he's very tuned up to what's going on in the U.S., and I think, unless there's one issue, there may be a difference of opinion, but for the most part, they've got to be on the same page. So I don't know why there would be a drop there. I don't think that's what made Billy drop out, but I'm not sure. I think it was just the fact that we had a lot of breakers, and some of them, W2NQ and a couple of others, are just get long-winded, and they don't really have anything to say, nothing to contribute except that, oh, I'm hearing you really loud today, you're 2 dB and a half stronger than you were a week ago, and yada yada, and a lot of meaningless comment, and Billy just gets tired of that. So I wrote it off to that, but it may have been also brought on by Ray checking in. But Ray was there, and anyway, you caught on to what happened. I don't think we were late. We were there with Billy before 8 o'clock. I'm pretty sure we got connected at 7:45 or something, or just shortly after 8. And we went on from there. So I don't know how you missed us. LG and RAY were maybe up the band a little bit talking, and you may have not checked real close what frequency they were on. Well, they were down the band at first. I think that's what it was. They were on 200 or something. Anyway, who knows? But anyway, it was very, very good propagation. I'm surprised there weren't more ZS's checking in. Anyway, who knows? But don't apologize to me for not being there. It's if you're tired and you're sleeping, you get all the rest you can, and don't worry about missing the net. You're not disturbing us, other than we'd like to have you in there if you have something to contribute or want to listen in or say or question something. You're always welcome. But we don't get all perturbed if you're not there. Hi. All right, let's move on. I got John in here already, but let me just see if we can hook up with John, and then we'll see if we can pick up the Redding boys. And KR6MR, John, if you're still there, K6MYC.
Yes, good evening, Mike. A very good signal still. Listened to you almost all evening. Heard you very well off the back of your beam. KR6MR, Bozo 759 for Judy to write down. Over.
All right, very good, John. Good signal here. I didn't hear you much off the back, but I could tell you were in there, but I couldn't read it, so I didn't know you were there. Anyway, good deal. We'll look for you tomorrow, of course. You don't have 222, but we'll see you on 6, I'm sure. We'll see if propagation on 6 is starting to stabilize. It's been really flaky lately. Let me go up toward Redding and see if we get Redding. Charlie, November 80. Charlie, November 80. We got good conditions up and down the valley, so it should be good for those guys as well. Not much QSB this evening. KD6SW, KD6 Sugar Whiskey, K6MYC. How about it, Rich?
AJ6QS.
AJ6 Queen Lima. Good evening, George.
Yeah, good evening, Mike. Thank you. Just came in, but I don't want to hold you very long because you're 9 o'clock almost, and you truly want to go to Nevada. Bozo is 1031. 1031, over.
Got it, 1031. I was going to ask you for it, but you beat me to it. Good deal, George, no problem. I haven't heard the Redding boys, but they, I'm sure, are in there somewhere. So it may be just in a fade or something, but they've been very strong lately, except that the fades for them has been very deep and very big peaks, too. All right, let me do it this way. Let's try KO6HS. KO6HS. Jerry, are you copying tonight? K6MYC. KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie, we have you, Mike. I hear you very weakly. I'm pointed towards Sacramento, but we already have you checked in. We do have you checked in. You are checked in, Mike. Over. Roger. Okay, I got you, Roger. 7-3. Okay, KD6SW. KD6 Shopping Wet or KO6HS. Where is Redding tonight? K6MYC, over. How about you, Frank? You got ears on Redding?
There was somebody in there. Tell them to come again.
Okay. I'm going to turn my blanker on here. I've got just a tad of noise from our friendly inverter. Let's see if we can copy you now, Rich. Give us a longer call so we can wiggle the antenna. KD6 Sugar Whiskey, KD6SW, or KO6HS. Whoever called, do it again. Do it again. K6MYC and company listening, over. Get the antenna right on you here. I don't think I was pointed quite right. KD6SW, let's try one more time. Surprising not to have you guys in here. KD6SW or KO6HS. Try it now. K6MYC, over. We'll try it again in a few minutes. I'll try it when we come back from Nevada. We'll try again when we come back from Nevada. Let's see, anybody else in the Sacramento area before we go to Nevada? K6MYC, Bozo Net.
Mike, you're coming up. 6HS230, over.
Okay, I got the tail end of it, 83. Give us a call again. You're very weak and in my noise. Over. Give us another call. Give us another call. Repeat your Bozo number. Repeat your Bozo number 3 or 4 times. Over.
$230, Mike.
830. 230. How about 230?
That's what I said. 230.
Oh, that's Jerry. Okay, boy, it's weak. Okay, that's Jerry, KO6HS, 230. We hear you, Jerry, but boy, the propagation is terrible tonight to you guys. Good everywhere else. Very good propagation everywhere else, but you guys are really in the tank. Maybe it'll come roaring up here in a minute. KO6HS, take 1, K6MYC, over. Getting a little better. You're starting to get up to about readability 3, but we've got you logged in, and I haven't heard Rich yet. Can you give me Rogers? Is Rich here? Is Rich on frequency tonight? Jerry, over.
KD6SW, KD6 what? Number 145, over.
Got you now, Jerry. Got you now, Rich. Okay, you're starting to come up out of the noise here. Really funny little flutter. You guys got a totally different path than everybody else this evening. Must be the distance there. Maybe there's a weather front coming in. Hi. Good to hear you. Thanks for being there. Sorry that conditions are not up to snuff here. KD6 Sugar Whiskey, K6MYC. Good evening, Rich.
Good evening there, Mike. 73.
73, thanks for being there. Down to you, Jerry, and thank you for coming in also. KO6HS, K6MYC, over.
Roger, yeah, you're coming up. You got a little bit of a peak there, coming up on a peak, and actually you're sounding pretty good. Copy you 100%, over.
Yeah, now you're 100% copy also. A lot of flutter and multipath on you, but better copy at first. I couldn't hear you guys at all. I knew, and I have this little background noise of power or residual noise on the frequency in this direction. I knew there was somebody in there. Frank could hear you, and I could hear you, but we couldn't read anything. But thanks for sticking with it there. Good evening to you, Jerry, and hopefully we'll get better conditions on Wednesday. Maybe conditions will be better on Wednesday. Temperatures are supposed to be very high on Wednesday, and maybe that'll give us a big inversion up the valley there. Take care, my friend. KO6HS Reading, K6MYC. 73, guys.
All right, 73, starting to fade a little bit. 73, catch you next time, over.
73. Got that. Anybody else now that's copying me here before I go to Nevada? K6MYC. Nothing heard? Okay, Nevada, here we come. Okay. I think we're pretty close to Nevada here. KD6BQ. KD6BQ. Richard, any copy tonight? K6MYC. The van's a little weird, over.
Yeah, K6MYC, KD6BQ, number 249. You're a pretty good signal. A little garbled, but easy copy there. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is kind of garbled, isn't it? But okay, well, maybe I can move the antenna a little bit and fix that up. Just to confirm, you were the guy, because we had you confused with somebody else, I think, the other day. You were the guy that we were sitting out there looking over the lake, and you heard the big explosion, and you saw a puff of smoke, and then a fire started across, and that was a fire station, had a propane tank blow up. Was that you, Richard?
Yep, that was me. I saw the puff of smoke and the fire started, and I called the emergency dispatch and told them about it. But it's not really clear what happened. And I didn't hear an explosion. We just saw the smoke. Over.
Yeah, QSL. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, we were thinking it was Clear Lake, and I couldn't remember, but I don't have good copy to Clear Lake, guys, and I remember you telling, or somebody telling that story very, very clearly about the explosion and the smoke and the fire and all the rest of it. And but we weren't sure whether it was you or the other guy that lives on the other side of Clear Lake. Hi. Anyway, thanks for the clarification, Richard. Let's see. I don't know who else is in here tonight. I wonder if Larry's there. Let's check and see. N7 Whiskey Tango, N7WT. How about it, Larry? K6MYC.
Yeah, 5 and 9. K6MYC, November 7 Whiskey Tango, number 657. Over.
Yeah, good signal. It's got the same flutter as Richard, but that seems to be the path. There's something funny goes on. It's probably just the daylight time as the sun's going down, and it makes the propagation weird with the inversion layers breaking up and stuff. I'm sure that has something to do with it. Anyway, good to hear you, Larry. We've been missing you on some of the other nets. Is all your equipment working okay on 222 and 432? Are you working okay?
Well, I don't know. 1296, I can't have trouble hearing you. And also on 220, it's not been as good lately as it used to be. So I don't know if there's a problem going on there or not. Over.
Yeah, I don't know if anything has changed here. One of the things I haven't done for a long time is to see if I have any feed line loss going up to the 1296 antenna. I can hear the same because I've got a preamp that's up there and it comes down on a separate line. So anything going on, I don't see any difference in the antenna, and I'm copying Daniel just fine. So I'm baffled as to why we're having trouble with you, and the only thing I can attribute it to, I'll blame you like everybody else blames Trump for everything, okay?
Yeah, and the problem is I don't have any meters that can check 1296 SWR and all that stuff, and so I'm kind of in big trouble there. All I can do is just disconnect and just check if the feed lines are any good or not. But as far as with the lower bands, I actually got meters where I can see the SWRs, see what's going on. But I cannot do anything with the 1296. It's just a guess. By gosh, over.
Okay. Do you have a bird watt meter, but you do not have a 1296 slug? Is that it?
Yeah, I do have one. Well, no, I don't really. I got one that's close, but not. I think it goes up to about 1260. Over.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Something goes to 1264, but doesn't go to 1296. Do you have a bird watt meter?
Yeah, I have a bird watt meter and a slug that only goes to 1260, but it's close. No cigar.
Well, even if it isn't accurate, it can't be very far off. If it goes to 1260, you're only 30 megahertz above that, so that's not much. So I would put it in there and use it, even if it's not accurate. You don't care whether it reads the absolute correct power. What you're looking for is a bad VSWR. The point is, I have a 25-watt slug. I could mail one up to you quickly for you could use it for a while until you sort the problem out. But if you've got a slug already, I think you'd use it even if it's not accurate on your forward power. That's not the part you're looking for. You're looking for bad VSWR. Do you have any way to terminate the cable at the antenna?
Yeah, I guess I could do that. That's also. I do have a plug that'll go to the gigahertz there that I can, as long as I run low power, and that. And I also, I've done the 1296 or 1260 on there, and I'm guessing it's showing me about 30 watts out. So I don't know what's going on. It's not in. I don't think it's the transmit. I think it's in the receive.
Well, I'm not hearing you either, so I think it's a feed line, something that's common to both transmit and receive. I think it's common because I'm not hearing you. You know, you and Larry, you and Daniel used to be pretty comparable when you would come up on peaks. He might peak at a different time, but you'd both have the same signal strength or close to it. But I'm just not hearing you at all right now, and you're not hearing me at all. So I suspect that that's a feed line issue, Larry. That would be my first guess. Over.
Hey, Mike, that slug's within probably 5%.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't matter. We're not interested in the absolute number, Dane. It's just he's looking for bad VSWR, whether it's reading 20 watts forward and 2 back, or 18 watts forward and 1.8 back. It's a ratio that should be correct for the slug, and that's what we're looking for. Something that it shows a good VSWR, something under 10%. Over.
Yeah, too many people, I think, see the tolerance on something, and they think that it dies at that point. And with bird slugs like that, you're within just a few percent.
They roll off very slow, and they're usable way beyond the range that they're rated at, but they're out of spec as such, and that's why they have that spec on there, 1260. But the damn thing probably works to 1400 megs easily. They can't make it cut off that fast in that size of slug. Anyway, I think that's what I would do, Larry, is I would put that bird in there and see what you're getting. And then perhaps if you have it, try a different piece of feed line. Maybe even if you took the antenna down and put it somewhere where it's more convenient. I think if you get it working, it's going to work better at a low height if you get rid of the feed line loss. That's my gut feel, Larry. Over.
Yeah, Roger. I don't know if I'm going to do that at this point in time. Because it's, being 79 years old, I don't climb towers anymore, and I don't, so I just run into, I have that problem. I need one of them young bucks to come and help me out one of these days. So, and changing out the feed line would be real difficult to do right now. Over.
Well, you should feel as young as your voice. You don't sound like you're a 79-year-old. I'm 87. Now, I got an excuse. You got no excuse. Maybe you could get Daniel or one of the guys. How about your other buddy down the road that you were going to get on here? What was his KJ6? What's his name? Just down the street. Maybe he could climb for you. Over.
He's more crippled than I am. So that won't help. Anyway, I'll see if I can do something, but I'm not real enthusiastic about climbing around and saying things over.
Okay. Well, I would think that you might try to keep an eye out for another piece of feed line. I suspect you got something. You may have water just in the connector, so the feed line may be okay, but all you take is half a drop of water, and it'll just kill you on 1296. I've measured differences, and 1 drop of water in a connector, and the game is over. Over.
Yeah, well, that's probably the problem, because we get a lot of moisture here. That's for sure. And I do have, actually, I got another piece of feed line that I could use, but trying to run it is just disaster. I have I guess it's not the half. I got 1 inch or 1 1/8 inch piece. I got a piece about 80 feet long, but I only got about maybe a 50-foot run. But it's just trying to get it to fit through wherever I go. I don't have any more room to run any more coax out through the holes in the wall. You know what I mean? Over.
Yeah, I understand. Well, I would just try a different feed line if you can. No matter how you do it, try a different feed line, even if it's a little long or whatever, and that may just be the answer. And then you can work on finalizing and optimizing it. Piece of 7/8 hardline there would be perfect. I've got 4 or 5 pieces that sound like they'd be perfect for you. The problem is you're up there and I'm down here. Over.
Yeah, well, I got a couple of 7/8 or whatever it is that's the next size up. I just look like about an inch and a diameter feed line, but they're big long pieces. I just hate to cut them up, for still just a short use like that. They're 80 or 100 foot long, and then the problem is I don't have any place to run them. I really pull up. I'd have to tear out a whole bunch of or drill another hole in the wall. I just don't feel like doing that over.
I hear you. I hear you. Let me ask you a question. Frank, are you copying anything from Leary?
100% copy.
Oh, okay. He's really difficult copy because of the flutter. It's all broken up. Are you hearing that?
Negative. He sounds. I got a little bit of it, but he's pretty solid here.
Well, he's solid. It just sounds like it's chopped into pieces. I just wondered if I was missing anything. Is there anything that you could tell him about the feed line that might help?
No, I think you gentlemen about have it covered. He just needs somebody to do some climbing for him.
Yeah, that's what you need, Larry. You need to find a young ham that's that got some enthusiasm and doesn't mind helping an old codger like you. Hi. Okay, let's see if Daniel's in there. Over to you, Daniel, if you're there. KE7UQL, KE7 Uniform Quebec London, K6MYC.
Roger here in 272. This is KE7UQL. I hear you fine, Mike.
Yeah, I'm hearing you fine, too. And you don't have the chopped up signal. I've had that chopped up thing on Leary every year about this time when he's on 2 meters. He's just all chopped up. And I'm the same way to him. He hears the same thing on me, Frank, incidentally, over.
You're solid at the minute. Forward. As soon as you go down, Mike, that's when you lose your chop up signal. As long as you're S9, you're solid clean. N7WT.
Okay, well, you're just kind of, it's all like you're somebody's jerking your voice around up and down or hitting you on the back at a rate of, what's his Bozo? 657. And Daniel's 272. Okay. Anyway, give a report to Frank. He's just got a system up that's finally high enough to hear you. Frank, make a transmission and call the guys there, over.
Well, okay. This is W6BBS, Frank, in DMO 7, number 72, and I'm copying all you guys pretty good. Haven't been paying attention to S meters. So, Richard, what do you say? Go ahead. All right, Richard's not hearing me. Anybody else hearing me?
Whiskey 6, Bravo, Sierra. Here is KE7UQL, over.
Okay, yeah, I've got you. You're real fluttery right now, and S1, but 100% copy, over.
Roger. You are the same. S1, no flutter.
Okay, very good. Yeah, the band's up and down quite a bit because just a minute ago you guys were up to almost S7. So, but yeah, the new location is working good for me, so I'm very pleased with it.
Okay.
Very good. Mike, I need to tell you my big plans for the next coming weekends, over.
Yeah, tell me your big plans.
Okay, so I'm going HF for the California CUSO party. So Friday morning I'll take the VHF, UHF stuff down and put HF up. And for the following weekend, it's the Nevada CUSO party. I'm going to take the show on the road and do a POTA activation. Roger?
Okay, good. A POTA, very good. Parks on the air, wonderful. Well, you're going to be busy, but we won't be hearing you very much on the VHF bands, maybe at least this week, and then maybe next week if you take it on the road, you'll put the station back together at home on VHF, right?
So you will hear me this week. The following week, I'll try to work you on 40 meters. And then the second weekend, I will be about 20-30 miles north of Stan out there in Churchill County, out there in Fort Stinkin' Desert, over.
Yeah, okay. Well, you can always work me on 40. And I've got 2 antennas, so even if I have trouble hearing you, I could swing the other antenna toward you. I got the 2 element that would beam right over toward you. I use the 3 element toward Seattle and up toward Washington State, and I can just beam the 2 element right at you. So that should be no problem. Be happy to work you on the QSO party weekend and also the POTA on the air there. Good to hear you, Daniel, and you're very solid for me. I don't have the flutter and the distortion, chopped up distortion. It's path distortion is what it is on Larry. Larry doesn't have that on any other band. It's just on this band, and it's not the radio because you're not hearing it, Frank. It's just some weird characteristic between Larry and I, and we both hear it at times on each other. Back to you, Daniel, and then we'll let you guys go, and we're going to get out of here. We've had a long day. KE7UQL in the group, K6MYC, Bozo Net.
Okay, thank you. That's my report for now, and K6MYC and Whiskey 6 Bravo Sierra 7-3 and good night.
Okay, how about you, Rob? Do you want to say hello to him?
Well, sure. How you doing, Daniel? KE7UQL, KM6SR. You're nice and loud here, over.
KM6 SRR. Good to hear you, Rob. How's your buddy on Bozo?
Oh, he's doing pretty good. He goes on and activates at least once a month, and he was very happy to get you there. So he told me to tell you he's very thankful.
Okay, well, I think you heard I was going to do an activation in 2 weeks, so let him know. KE7UQL. Thanks, Rob.
Roger, Daniel. You're going to have it listed on the website what frequency you're going to be on, over?
Yes, Roger. I will post and I will do spots, over.
All right, sounds great. Good to hear you. KE7UQL, KM6SR, 73.
Go ahead, Larry. Larry, are you copying Rob? Oh, maybe there. How about Richard? Are you copying Rob? Richard's gone quiet. KE7, KD6BQ, I should say. 73's Richard, if you're not having any propagation at the moment. 73 to you, Larry. We'll see you tomorrow night, Larry, on 222. KE7, KD6BQ, KE7UQL, KN7 Whiskey Tango, 73 guys, K6MYC.
Yep, 73 Mike. Yeah, I was copying Rob just fine. I was just too slow on the transmit switch, over.
Okay, Rob, go ahead and say hi to Richard.
How you doing, Richard? KD6BQ, KM6SR. You have to come in here loud and clear, too, over.
Yep, you're good with no flutter. Mike's clear with no flutter right now, too. So you're probably running about an S8, S9 at my location, Rob, over.
Roger. Yeah, I'm getting you about a S5 or so. My S meter's not too good on this radio. And I heard Larry in there, too, nice and loud also, over.
Yeah, good evening, Rob. You're 5 and 9 when you're peaked, and now it's dropping down to noise. 7-3.
Roger, Larry. Yep, it's up and down a lot there. So, yeah, you were a little light just on that transmission, but very loud on the others. Okay, 73, guys. KM6SR, back to net.
Okay, I'm going to go to the Bay Area. Why don't you go down to Porterville, and I'll catch up with you, but let me just check the Bay Area. We got most people, but there was a few missing, so I'll do late checks and missed in the Bay Area, and then I'll go to Porterville, and we'll wrap this thing, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Were you going to try again up there for Reading, over?
Did. Am I going to try for Eddie? Yeah, who?
Oh, I can't remember if you got the guys from Reading or not. You said you were going to come back by and get them, but you might have got them after you said that, over.
Yeah, we got both of them, 145 and 230, yes.
Okay, yeah, I didn't get 145. I'll write them in.
Okay. I'll go to the Bay Area, you go to Porterville, and I'll be right there.
Roger. KE6BK, Eddie, you on tonight for the 2-meter Bozo Net? KM6SR with K6MYC, standing by. KE6BK, Eddie, you on? I'm not hearing Eddie, Mike.
Okay. Close enough. Okay, Bay Area, late checks and missed. This is Kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie, Bozo Net. Late checks and missed in the Bay Area. We're missing 2 or 3 people. Bay Area, late checks and missed. K6MYC calling and listening.
Whiskey Bravo 6, Whiskey November India.
1090. Well, thanks for coming back. My daughter and I were moving furniture, and we missed the net at the first part.
Yeah, well, I called you. I figured, gee, that's weird. Gary wasn't there, so I made a point of calling you a couple of times, but I'm glad we came back and got you here, Gary. Good to hear you, 1090. And thanks very much. You're very nice and loud. Very, very good propagation to the Bay Area tonight. It was a little flaky to Nevada, but otherwise all about, and a little flaky to the boys in Redding, but otherwise we had extremely good propagation to everybody. Anyway, good evening to you. Don't hurt yourself with the furniture moving there, and maybe take a couple of Advil before you go to bed. WB6WNI, K6MYC, Bozo Net.
Yes, good advice, Mike. I think you've been there, done that. Yes. Well, it wasn't too bad, but you know what? I thought I heard you calling, but we had furniture in our arms, and we don't want to drop them. But thank you for coming back, and propagation is very good. I don't know if anyone told you, on the 432, there was long fade, and you were about S1 when we first made contact and ended up S5, but it was interesting on 432 at the long fade. This has just been solid. So thanks, Mike, for coming back. K6MYC WB6WI. Good evening to you and Judy.
Okay, good evening to you, sir. And Judy said good evening, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow, perhaps on 6 meters. Good night for now. Anybody else in the Bay Area before we go QRT? Kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie, 2 meter Bozo Net.
AB6SR 807.
I figured you'd wake up from that glass of Merlot you had. I even said so. I said, I bet you Stan's sitting there next to a half-drunk, half-drank, half-empty, half-full glass of Merlot. Over.
Exactly true, yes. I was awake beforehand, but fell asleep in the chair here. It must have been the Merlot. Yes, so good evening to Judy. I thought you might come back after what did I hear you? I heard you go up to Redding, but after that I thought, never mind what I thought. I just dozed off after dinner. Yep, cooked dinner myself, so had a couple of glasses and another one for extra delight here. So yeah, just fell asleep. I'll be on 6 tomorrow. So if I can stay awake, yeah, I didn't have very good night's sleep last night, so that may have been one of the issues. But as likely as not, it was Merlot. So yep. Back to you, K6MYC, AB6SR.
Very fine, Stan. AB6SR or K6MYC. Well, yeah, sometimes when you don't sleep well the night before. I woke up this morning and I was okay, but I didn't sleep well. I was fighting an agency. Some government agency kept giving me this test. And the test was to connect lines and dots on a piece of paper. And they gave me a writing stick or some kind of a marking tool. And I would mark it up, and then I'd turn it over to the examiner. And by the time she'd read it, the marks would fade or rub off. And I was just having... what a dream. One of those frustration dreams, I guess. And the test was all fouled up. They didn't have the lines connected right, and the instructions were poor. And I kept telling her, listen, let me write this thing. This is terrible. She said, no, I agree with you. It's very confusing. And that was my excuse for not sleeping good. Over.
Yeah, I had a funny dream the night before about a couple of coyotes I saw that ate a dog and left the remains on an armchair here. However, the armchair gone outside, I don't know. But yeah, we get some funny dreams. Don't think it was anything to do with the Merlot then. That was it. I did wake up I was awake at the time of that earthquake this morning. Did hear a noise or something, but who knows? Anyway, I'll be off to bed in a minute or two.
So wish you both good evening. Hope I stay awake for tomorrow on 6. K6MYC AB6SR.
Yeah, good evening to you, Stan.
Yeah, good evening to you, Judy.
Okay, very good. 7-3, and I think we're done, Rob. K6USY, W6BBS, KM6SRR. Anybody else that's left? K6MYC will be clear but listening. How many do you have here? Let's see, what do we got? How's the count, Judy? $43, big check-in list tonight, 43.
Okay, I just counted 44. I wonder if I got one doubled.
Well, that's pretty close.
Did you get Dave in there, WA6LOL? Because he texted me and asked me a question about Rick's radio, so he was on frequency, over.
Yeah, no, we did not get Dave. That would be the one you need.
971?
No, 856. Okay, that means we got the same count, 44. What a night, huh?
Yeah, that was a good one. Close to the top one we've ever had.
Yeah, it didn't feel that big when we went through it, but I guess it did turn out that way. We missed a few people. I mean, we could have been at 50 had we gotten a few more in the Bay Area, and and Russ there, KW6T, KW6S, and KW6T both missing tonight. But did help to get 3 out of Atascadero, over.
Yep, roger on that. And of course, we didn't have BYH 195. He always checks in late. And then Ken 226 and a few other guys. I don't know if we got Terry. Yeah, we got Terry. Anyway, sounds like a good one, Mike.
Yeah, we did not get Kerry. We did not get KE6VON. We did not get KJ6TYO. So there's just a whole bunch that we could have had. We could have been 50 easy.
Yep, that would have been the highest we've had, but oh well. Anyway, we'll say 73 to you, and good evening to you too, Judy. K6MYC, KM6SR, 73.
Yeah, the other one, new one that's missing is K6MTS. He's back on the air from Prather, so he could have added to it as well.
Yep, roger on that. And then we had the new guy from Kingsburg that's been on quite a bit that didn't show up either, over.
Yeah, and then we missed Alpha 6 Sugar and WA6AAJ. So, I mean, Jesus, it could have been huge.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet down here.
I think I hear somebody in there.
That was Aaron. Aaron, say it again.
Yeah, I was just saying it's, other than John and me, it was pretty quiet down here.
Yeah, in the San Joaquin Valley, we did miss quite a few. All right, guys, we're out of here. We're going to go touch up the cat food and head in for the evening. Good evening to all, and thanks for a good net here. KM6SRR, K6USY, W6BBS. Others, perhaps K6MYC, clear and pulling the cork.
Righty, good night, Mike. Good night, Rob. K6USY.
Good night, Aaron.
Good night, Mike. Hey, Aaron, K6USY, KM6SRR. Oh, you're getting ready for Halloween voices, it sounds like there. Anyway, I talked to Ken today, and he says that he doesn't think there's any problem of getting us a chance to go up to the school at top of the 4-lane there for field day, over.
Oh, interesting. Hold on. Let me cut everybody loose on YouTube real quick.